AI, artificial intelligence. It's software that can perform tasks that we normally associate with human intelligence. We're talking about understanding language, recognizing images, making predictions, solving problems, creating content, or helping us make decisions. But what is AI all about? And is it all hype? Is it a bubble? Will it go away? Is it a fad just like the internet, or a fad just like computers? What the heck is ChatGPT? What are LLMs? Well, AI is not just one single thing. It's an umbrella. And within that umbrella, there are things like machine learning. You feed the machine all this past information and it predicts the future. There's computer vision, speech recognition, recommendation systems, self-driving cars. So all these ways that it can be used, but the big one that gets so much attention is generative AI. This is AI that can generate something new text, images, audio, video, computer code, music, or ideas. So instead of only analyzing information, generative AI can create a draft for you, write a summary, answer a question, brainstorm a business idea, make an image, or help you edit a script, just like this one, right? If you said, well, I want to make a video teaching something, and here's sort of what I want to say, but I'm not sure, it can edit it and clean it up for you. And that brings us to how that's even done. So there's a tool called ChatGPT, which is kind of like the mainstream, and it's the one that I personally like to use. It's an AI chatbot, and it's created by OpenAI, and it's designed to interact with you in a conversational way. You ask a question, you get an answer, ask a follow-up, you clarify, you conversate or converse back and forth. They say that it's an AI service that can respond to questions and instructions by learning patterns from large amounts of information, including text, images, audio, and video. You can upload it, web pages, websites, upload a text file, upload an image, take a picture of yourself, draw a doodle, and it can understand all of that and then output it in any way that you want. And it's not a human brain. It doesn't think exactly like a person. It's a very advanced pattern recognition and language generation system. You type in a prompt and it predicts a useful response based on the patterns it learned during training, plus the additional context you give it in the conversation. And when they throw around ChatGPT, they say, oh, what about Gemini? What about Claude? What about all these others? Well, those are all LLMs. LLM stands for Large Language Model. Large means that it was trained on a massive amount of data. Language means it works with words, sentences, and meaning. And model means that it is a system trained to recognize patterns and make predictions. A language model is basically trying to answer the same question every time. Ready for this? It says, everything that I've been given so far, given that, what should probably come next? What's the likelihood of that what I say next is correct? And this could be the next word in a sentence, next line of computer code, next step in a plan, the next useful idea in a conversation. That's why LLMs are good at writing, summarizing, explaining, translating, brainstorming, role-playing, coding, and answering questions. And I know I'm just kind of throwing out all these terms for you. That way, if you hear the terms again, then you can intelligently work with the proper terminology. And you might have heard, well, GPT, ChatGPT, why can't they just name it something normal? What is a GPT? Well, GPT means generative, pre-trained transformer. Generative means that it can generate new content, not just repeat the same answer, but create a new response based on your request. Pre-trained means it was trained ahead of time with so many examples before you ever used it. So if you say, hey, give me a sonnet, give me a blueprint for a house, it's interprets it all kinds of sonnets, all kinds of blueprints, so it's never starting from scratch. It's basically trained on the whole of human knowledge, and it already knows grammar, facts, writing styles, reasoning patterns, relationships between concepts. It's not working from a blank slate. And then a transformer, so we said GPT, generative, pre-trained transformer. A transformer kind of pays attention to context. It looks at the words in your prompt, it figures out what matters most, and then generates a better answer. So you might say, well, write this block of text in a friendlier tone, or hey, there's this concept like, say, quantum physics, explain it to me like I'm 5. And so that's kind of the terminology. And if you're a beginner with AI, or you've used it a little bit but you want to get better, well, it's not magic, and it can be useful, it can make mistakes, but the answer depends heavily on the quality of your prompt, which means a vague prompt gets a vague answer, and a better prompt gives context, a goal, and a format. So don't just say, help me with marketing. Say, well, I run a fitness coaching business for busy professionals. Give me 5 Instagram post ideas that are friendly, practical, and under 150 words each. You give it information on all kinds of levels, right? Here's who I am. Here's who I want to help. It's for this purpose. Constrain it to this format. That way, it gives the AI direction, and that way, it's setting expectations for both of you, and you can hopefully get the outputs that you want from your inputs. And so what are those inputs and outputs? What can you as a beginner use AI for? You can use it to summarize long articles, explain confusing topics, draft emails, create outlines, brainstorm content, organize your thoughts, practice interviews, write code, analyze data, or get a second perspective on a problem. But the key is to treat AI like a very capable assistant. Don't use it as a replacement for your judgment. It's not all-knowing. It's just a tool. You think of it like a pocket calculator, but for language. It can help you move faster, think clearer, and create more. So here's what AI is all about. If you've been like, hey, I can't even hang on to this, Robert, it's a freight train. AI is the big umbrella, and generative AI is what we're talking about to create new content. An LLM is a large language model that is trained to work with language specifically. We say the English language, but what's spooky and cool is that ChatGPT, talk to it in any language and it will just speak right back to you. But let's just say it's trained to work with the English language, and then ChatGPT is a conversational AI tool built on this kind of technology. GPT, we said, stands for Generative Pre-Trained Transformer. And the best way to understand AI is not just read about it, but just go play with it. You go to chatgpt.com, or you can dial up your phone to 1-800-CHAT-GPT. They actually have an 800 number, and you can just talk to it, and it won't remember you next time, but it's a great way to get your feet wet. Ask it questions, give it tasks, test the answers, push it, correct it, experiment with it, because once you understand how to talk to AI, you begin to realize that the real skill is not just getting answers, it's learning how to ask better questions.